With regard to different practices which are existing in member states, Erik has mentioned yesterday, and the President has referred to it as well, that we have established a panel of experts, of epidemiologists and virologists. And one of the reasons why this group has been established is to also issue recommendations and give us the necessary, I would say, scientific evidence to look in the way how measures are being taken. And we would expect that this is the way testing is done is exactly one of the topics on which this scientific panel would have interesting things to say. So following our scientific-based approach to things, I would say on this, stay tuned.
Yes, we're expecting exactly. This afternoon. I don't know if you said it. Yes. Okay. We're expecting to be able to come out with the first set of recommendations from them this afternoon after they have been discussed with the health ministers also this afternoon during their daily call. So the next question in this area, or in your area rather, how many countries are taking part in the joint procurement for ventilators? Is it 24? Which countries? What sort of volume is being considered, etc.?
Okay, there's several procedures ongoing, and maybe allow me to give a little update of this situation. As I told you yesterday, we are talking here about 3 different procurement procedures. There is the procedure which was already launched in February and which has now been extended to also include eye and respiratory protection. We have almost all member states are participating in this extended public procurement, and we expect offers to be made by the market within 6 days. This procedure has been launched yesterday. The second procedure is about ventilators. So we're talking here about medical equipment to support the breathing of patients who have suspected or confirmed coronavirus. Again, almost all member states are on board for this joint procurement process, which has been launched yesterday. We again expect supplies from the, or rather offers from suppliers, or bids to be made within the next days. And then there's the third procurement procedure on laboratory equipment. This has not yet been launched, but is about to be launched because we're still receiving requests from member states to participate in this joint procurement procedure on laboratory equipment. But obviously, this will be launched very quickly as well, and we will again have a short deadline for submission of bids by the companies. With regard to the quantities that are being asked for to the markets, I have to tell you that these joint procurement procedures, which are being launched in the context of this outbreak, are following a what we call negotiated procedure without the publication of a contract notice due to the extreme urgency. And we cannot communicate on exactly the quantities that are being requested because we want the negotiations to take place in the best possible conditions and making sure that the confidentiality is well respected and that we don't have that we take into account the sensitivity of this market. So with regard to actual quantities, we ask you to bear with us, and as soon as we have here bids and contracts that have been concluded, we'll be able to give you more information on this.
Any other questions for Stefan on this issue? On this? Sorry? Okay.
On procurement, Germany was threatened with a potential infringement procedure after banning exports of protective gear. We had some indication that that would be lifted, but it appears that that has not, in fact, happened, that there is still an export ban. Is the Commission planning to take any further action there, and do you have any further information on other countries that have also put in place export bans on protective equipment?
Yes. Daniel, I think this question would be more for you. Can you hear us? It's for you? No, Daniel, we can't hear you. Hold on. Try to put on your microphone and it will come back. We have some technical issues. Daniel, stay tuned. I think that Sonia says that she can answer that. don't move too far away, Stefan, because we'll have a question on transport after that. Sorry, Daniel, I don't know what's happening with the transmission. Jonathan is working on it.
Good afternoon. If your question concerns the restrictive measures imposed by certain member states intra-EU, then I could tell you that the Commission is taking urgent measures on this. We are in constant contact with those member states, in dialogue in order to address those measures, and Germany and France were the first to go ahead with such measures, and they have re-notified revised legislation which aims to address the issue and to ensure a balanced approach to supplying priority users both in Germany and throughout the EU. Meaning that, for example, German companies producing or supplying personal protection equipment could participate in the joint procurement procedures which Stefan just explained, in order to make sure that all patients and those that need most this equipment are supplied, not only in those countries, but also EU-wide.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, Daniel, you had some, I don't know if you can speak now, if we can hear you. No, it's not working. Sorry, we'll have to try again at a later stage. Before I call Stefan back to the podium, I see on my Twitter account that there is a question from Michaela Gergizan on the virtual means to contact us. We sent an email out, I think again this morning, at least I hope so, with an email address to which, Michaela, you can send your questions, and they are moderated here by the team because we are getting many, many questions. We try to sort them out roughly by theme and to select those that can basically summarize the gist of the different topics that we have to cover, and then we try to answer them here on the podium or virtually through our colleagues when the microphones work. So Stefan, there was a question from Roland from DPA.